Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our new series that we are launching called the Equity Pulse. And what this is a very similar series to our FX decoding, is that we are launching a weekly market analysis in the scope of education that we are going to be launching on a weekly basis. So today is Friday. I thought, let me launch it on Friday. You know, the market has been it's been all right recently. This week it was a bit, there wasn't much exciting sort of like price action this week as compared to like the last couple of weeks. But I thought, you know what, let me drop something on Friday as the market is closing, so you guys can obviously go on to back to your trading desks and see what sort of moves that you can spot for the upcoming weeks. So this week my focus is on the tech sector, and I'm really excited to show you guys the tech sector and what I can be expecting in the future as well. And there's a few other stocks I am going to be covering that has been on a lot of people's radars, but let's just break it down in terms of the tech sector. I might cover some little bit on the energy and the financial sector as well, but most of my focus today is going to be the tech sector. So in front of me I've got the NASDAQ. I don't have it labeled, and as you know, our primary strategy is Elliott Wave, and at the moment there's no labeling on this. So we'll break down the potential outcomes of what we can expect from the markets in a broader sense. So I'm interested specifically in this chart. I'm more interested in from how the price action evolved from the highs of this year, which is in July 2023. So seems like in terms of the sequence, we've got a corrective sequence, right? So it seems like we've got a 3-wave sequence here at the moment. Now this is more in line with a complex correction, so I would label this, if this is a correction to the downside, I would label this as a WXY. Now if I label this as a WXY, so say for example if we've got a correction, we've got a WXY, the next move up I would be expecting is going to be to the upside, right? Because we've got an impulse, correction, and then another impulse to the upside. So from the most recent price action that we can see on the NASDAQ is very similar to that theory, that we have an impulse to the upside, a correction, and then another impulse. Now, in terms of degrees of trend, we don't know how far it's going to go at the moment. It is going to be going into somewhat into like no man's land right now, because we do have the highs from 2021 that we need to either be rejected by or we have to break. So at the moment I'm taking the market wave by wave. So let's count this now anyway if we are bullish on the market. So we've got a wave 1 here with an expanded flat, wave 2. I believe we have a 1, 2. So in wave 3 we could have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think in this degree of trend we're still in wave 3. Okay, this is quite aggressive, this one, right? This is my aggressive bullish count. Now internally for wave 3, I believe if we are in wave 3, the count will go along the lines of something like this. Okay, and I'll put this 1 degree lower. So we got wave 1, 2, and another 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into this wave 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Now the next question is, all right, how do we know that wave 4 might potentially complete here? Well, the price action that came after that, this seems fairly bullish, right? So a lot of clues on the market here. I can count this as a 5-wave sequence to the upside. When we have a 5-wave sequence, that means we have an impulse. An impulse literally just means a move that is in line with the overall trend. Okay, so we've got an impulse to the upside, doesn't look corrected, there's a lot of gap in the market, shows that there's so much volume there. So I see this impulse right there. So I'm just going to break it down one more time frame. I usually don't do that for my analysis, but I'll do it in this example. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe we're in 4 and 5. Maybe another push up. Another thing I really like is the fact that we broke this level here. Now this is a very good indication that at least this sequence here, right, in wave Y, this 3-wave move in this larger cycle, in this larger channel, has broken. So us as analysts, us as traders, what do we ask ourselves? So the next question is, in terms of the scope of Elliott wave, we ask ourselves, okay, what's going to be the next move, and where is my invalidation level and a level that I like to see the market break? Okay, so I've placed this key level right there. This is going to be somewhat my invalidation level from a bullish count. So I want to see the market unfold in a three-wave move. Once we have a three-wave correction, which may take up to a couple of weeks, once we do get that, then we can be ready for another pop to the upside. However, if we break through this key level, then we have violated one of the main rules of Elliott wave, which is when wave 2 can't go beyond the extreme of wave. So the wave 2 can't go beyond the original point of wave 1. So as long as price is above this key level here, we can expect this to be bullish. Now, if we break this level, then we have to go back to the drawing board, and we may be in a bearish cycle that we have missed out. Okay, so I'm not going to completely cancel out the bearish moves right now. This is my opinion rather than more of a bias. All right, so the tech sector overall, I am fairly bullish on it. Let's have a look at Apple. So fairly similar, except Apple in terms of the degree of trend, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I don't see multiple degrees of trend like I did for NASDAQ here. So I'll go back onto that just to show it. Right, so let's just go back into the daily time frame, and you can see I had a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means that once 3 is done, obviously we have wave 4 playing now, but once wave 4 is done, we've got much of a bolder, much more of an upside available in the markets. As opposed to Apple, it seems like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then just 5 prior to like a deeper correction, or maybe we have completed this wave 5 on a larger degree, or this could just purely be just another 1, 2, 1, 2 situation. How do I go about with that? Well, this could be wave 1, and we could be in wave 2 here. That's very aggressively bullish, and at the moment I'm going to hold my horses on that. I'm not going to jump to the conclusions that far. But does this all matter in terms of like trading aspect? Yes and no, but mostly no, because what matters to us as traders is the same as NASDAQ. This price action from the highs. I believe this is wave 4, and we've got an impulse to the upside. Broke the key level, very similar to the NASDAQ. Same thing. I'm going to look at this level at $165 as my invalidation level, wait for a correction prior to a pop to the upside. And it's simple as that. So Apple is looking fairly bullish right now. The tech sector in general is looking fairly bullish at the moment. Let's have a look at Tesla. So I've been continuously, I've had loads of back-to-back calls today in our masterclass mentorship, and we've discussed the Tesla chart quite a bit. So Tesla has been, it was giving us some form of indication that this was forming a triangle, as a 1, 2, 3, 4 triangle, and 5 didn't, because this price section went into this wave 1's territory at $217 right here on 18th of August. So this gives us a bit of a clue that, okay, either we are bearish or we've got a series of 1, 2, 1, 2 in play. Now you might have noticed I've got two ray lines at $152 and $278. These are my parameters. So aside Elliott wave, these are my parameters at the moment to confirm whether something is this price chart is going to be either bullish or is it going to be bearish. So what do I mean by that? Let's imagine that we break this $152. It's more chance that we haven't finished this big cycle in this channel, right? So I've put this channel here just in case it isn't a corrective cycle. But it seems like we might be playing to the downside again if it breaks that. Why? Because if it is a series of 1, 2, 1, 2, the same thing as I mentioned, wave 2 cannot go beyond the original point of wave 1, which is sitting at $152. On the other hand, this key level confirms my bullish price action. Now ideally I want to see more clues in the market prior to that. But once we get a 5 down, B, another 5 down for wave C, and then price action climbs, my eyes will be on this $226, but mostly it will be on $278. And that would confirm that, we may be climbing to the upside in a 1-2-1-2 situation. There are many ways to count this, so I am going to keep this in terms of wave by wave. Sometimes I just delete all these waves and I just I'll follow this chart wave by wave and see where it leads, because at the end of the day this still could be a massive correction and then we can see a bigger push down. At the moment it is still quite unclear of what the market direction is showing, what sort of direction we can be expecting. Let's have a look at a few other stocks. Let's look at Microsoft. Alright, so this has been a bit more interesting, I guess. So what do we have here? I believe we've got another impulse to the upside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, let me do that one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I believe we've got another 5-wave sequence, very similar to NASDAQ. So Microsoft looking quite impulsive at the moment. We are about to break these highs from July this year. So yeah, I'm pretty keen to see if we do get a substantial amount of correction, which will be a 3-wave correction before we can look at this climbing to the upside. We can have a look at, let's have a look at some other sectors now. So I want to show you guys energy sector. Energy sector is looking quite well. It's been going sideways from the highs of June 2022, but has formed a massive triangle. So this triangle is looking like it's coming to a completion. I've got a validation level sitting at $75 for this specific count. Wave E looks quite promising as a complex correction. So we've got WXY. So we can see how this plays out. No divergences yet on the RSI. So yeah, I'm fairly sure that we might have a little bit more room to the downside. So as an Elliottian, I'm going to just do a retracement of wave D. Price can come down all the way to 79.28. So let's see. 78.6 is still in play, so you can retrace up to that deep level. What sort of stocks are there in energy that I like? Well, I'll show you guys. EOG, for example, is following quite similar to the ETF, the energy sector. So I like this as well. A little bit more room maybe to the downside into completing wave E, but this triangle looks fairly good. This is a running triangle. You can see it's formed a new high. A running triangle means when wave B forms a new price extreme, and then the rest looks like a normal conventional triangle. Let's have a look at financials. Financial sector looks quite negative at the moment. So from the highs of 2022, we had a bearish sequence, and then from the lows of last year in October, we've just been going sideways. So I can see the financial sector is looking like it's going to break to the downside. This looks like a fairly decent triangle. So yeah, I would say maybe we're in for another push up into wave E, and then we could see this declining. And the only reason why, because the subwaves of a triangle needs to unfold as a zigzag or a variant of a zigzag. Variant of a zigzag meaning it could be a double zigzag. So if wave E starts looking like a zigzag, then I'll be quite confident that this triangle may be coming to its completion. So that's it from me, guys. The first video, of course, it was just for your analysis. It just went through some few charts that look interesting at the moment. I'm gonna start probably doing this on more of a PowerPoint basis, so you guys can see a bit more statisticals, more stats behind individual moves and within the sectors as well. And then we can go on some charts and just have some fun. So bear with us. We're still getting used to making these videos, but I hope this was really helpful. Join our Discord, please. Get the conversation going. Any charts, anything you see here, you have any questions, either drop us a comment, or you can jump on the Discord. You can ask us directly. You can message me directly if you like, and subscribe, because we're going to be doing about 3 videos a week on an average basis from now on. So we're going to keep it very consistent, everyone. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope you all have a good weekend. Thank you.